This is The Dose of It, starring Priscilla and Taylor.
Please keep in mind, we are not medical professionals. Guys, welcome to our first ever episode of The Dose of It.
We're so excited. We've literally been counting down the days for this. I would be lying if I said that we did not take about 30 minutes to film an intro, but we did. We came, we saw, and we slayed the house down boots.
And we conquered.
And now we're here.
We
Yeah,
are.
Corinne, and we conquered. We did.
We did
Let
that.
us know what y'all think about that intro, please.
Also, don't tell us
We love it.
Don't tell us you hate it because it took us 30 takes. So
Yeah, and we're a little emotional. So
we're a
please
little
don't do that.
sensitive. We're a little sensitive. But I'm literally so excited to be here with you, Pris. I'm so
Oh my gosh,
happy.
me too.
I'm so happy that I'm doing. Yes, ma'am. I'm literally so happy that I'm doing this with you. I just can't believe that a little injection brought us together. I think that's so exciting
It's the craziest, literally the craziest thing ever. If you guys don't know about me, I'm going to give y'all a little hot tea background. I actually started my GLP1 journey because of Taylor. I saw her on my feed one day and I was like, I need to hop on her in her inbox and ask her a couple questions about this, okay? Me and Tay have been following each other for what, like over 4 years?
Girl,
maybe 4 years?
Yeah, you know what's crazy is I actually the other day when I was on your live, you're able to see how long you've been following someone. It was like 858 days, I believe.
Oh, yeah. No, one thing about me, I don't know math like that. So how much is that days? How many or years is that? 850 divided by
365.
12? Bitch, you're lying. Not 365. Are you sure?
Wait. Oh, I'm not a math girl.
You're drag.
No.
I'm gonna get dragged.
Now, what if I'm right?
800. Okay, somebody please let us know what that equals up to, please.
Someone in the comments let us know how long we've been besties for, but that's,
yeah.
Besides the point. We've been mutuals for so long, and it's just a wonderful, like, circle moment, because I used to look on Pris for, like, outfit inspo. Like, she's always been, like, that plus-size outfit creator. Like, this girl is rocking every single outfit.
Oh my God.
Like, and so I think that's why we originally, like, I started following you. Like, we were both in the beauty, like, community, and she slays the boots house down, whatever you say. Like, she can do whatever Pris says. She can literally, like, she can beat her face. We all know that we're jealous of her eyebrows. Let's be serious.
Oh, please. We're jealous of your makeup, girl, because one thing about Tay, an eyeshadow palette, hate to see her come in, because she's going to dig in there real deep.
Oh, I'm going to dig in there deep. But, you know, it's just a beautiful, like, full circle moment, because I used to look on you for content and for inspo, and, like, now here we are, like, we're working together, and I think that's just so beautiful.
Yes,
so
I'm so excited.
So excited to be doing this with you. I think that I would love to, you know, have you do like a little intro and have you tell everyone about yourself, because I know you and I know all your dirty secrets, but these people don't. So I would love for you to tell us about yourself. How old are you and how long have you been doing content for? And
I'm so glad you asked, because one thing about me, girl, y'all are going to learn a lot of things about me, because I got more than one to share. But one thing about me, I do forget how old I am. Sometimes I have to do the math. I don't know if anybody else can relate, but sometimes I got to go to the calculator, put my date of birth, and be like, how old am I? Please help.
I think that's just you.
You might be... Okay, period. Well, I'm 28 years old. I'm from Texas, and I have no traveled anywhere outside of Texas, just Mexico. I'm kind of really boring. I've been doing social media for maybe, like 4 or 5 years now, seriously. I have a cute little segment going on my TikTok page called GYUA. GYUA. Yeah.
Get your ass up.
GYAU. I'm a little dyslexic, one thing about me. It's called Get Your Ass Up. That's my segment I got going on. So if you recognize the voice, it's probably from that boob.
Oh, it's her.
It is her. I started my GLP1 journey about 6 weeks ago, and it has been the best decision I've ever made. I feel like I'm starting to get my glow back. Like, I don't know. I'm feeling better. I'm looking better. I'm sounding better. Because one thing about me, I'm going to start singing out of nowhere. That's another thing about me, girl.
Bestie, you're glowing.
And I'm glowing, right? Shine bright like a diamond, like Miss Rihanna said.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm so happy to be here. I feel like I am so happy that we're starting this podcast together, because Taylor's very educated, especially when it comes to the GLP1 community. I feel like she's just full of it. Just
I am full of
great education. She's just ready to just deliver. And one thing about me, I'm ready to hear and I'm ready to, put my input in there. And, I'm excited to start this little journey. did a lot of fashion and makeup content, but recently I've been switching up a little bit. I'm doing a little bit more weight loss, more GLP-1 content, and I am so grateful for all the new followers that I've gotten, all the OGs that have stuck around because you guys just have been so supportive. I was shaking my boots a little bit before coming onto the internet and, saying that this is going to be my new journey, but you guys really took it in and embraced it, and I am so happy to be here. But
Happy that you're here with me, Pris, and then I get to have you by my side doing this podcast together.
yes, yes.
I think it's so exciting that we're doing this, and I'm so proud
I'm
of.
so excited.
I'm so happy that I've been able to watch your journey and watch how you've been flourishing. And girl, you are glowing.
Gosh, well, thank you. I wouldn't want to be co-hosting with anybody other than Miss Tay, especially on this GLP-1 journey that we're both on, because like I said, I feel like this podcast, I wish I had something like this, a few months ago when I was a little bit on the fence about starting a GLP-1, because when I thought of a GLP-1, I thought of something really scary and I was so terrified to start it. And now that I'm finally on it, I'm like, girl, I wish I would have started sooner. I really did. And yeah.
I think there's so much like stigma behind what GLP-1s are. And I think that's what we really want this podcast to be for you guys, is a place that you can just come listen and hear us. Like, we're just on FaceTime with each other and we're going to share all of the good and the bad, and just be that support that, we didn't have in the beginning of our journeys. And we really hope that we can just be a safe space to listen about, the crazy side effects and the great things that GLP-1 brings, because the GLP-1 isn't scary. It's not all things bad.
No.
So we really hope that we can bring some light to the situation and just be your GLP-1 besties.
Yes, but that's a little bit about me. I'd love to hear more interesting, facts about you, Miss Tay.
Okay, so I am Taylor. Miss Pris calls me Tay. You guys. This might also Taylor May. I do go by like on social media, so Taylor May. I'm originally born
free promo.
Free promo. Oh girl, I'm gonna do that. Taylor May McD on all social medias.
Period.
So I'm actually born and raised in Knoxville, Tennessee. So I'm a little Southern belle. I really can't say that though, because my parents, we love a divorce story. We moved.
A little trauma.
Little trauma dumping. We moved, when I was 9 years old, I got, moved over to Pennsylvania, and I've been here ever since. Hence I don't have the Southern accent anymore.
It disappeared.
It disappeared. It went away. It's such a shame. I do like to bring her out every once in a while, motherfucker. So I do like to bring her out every once in a while. A little bit about my content style. You guys might know I do a lot of like the what I eat in a days, and Pris kind of touched on it a little bit, but I do like to do some like educational content, like long form content a little bit on TikTok about GLP-1s, just so that people know that it's not scary. It's not something that you guys have to be terrified about. And so I like to post that kind of content, kind of tying into how Pris and I met. We both used to be in the beauty community. So I was, doing like snakes on my eyelids and all kinds of crazy stuff. And Pris was slaying down her eyebrows.
And me, on the other hand, I just had a little bronzer on the crease. That was me.
But one thing about Pris is she's going to slay those eyebrows. So,
I'm going to try.
we met through the beauty community, so that was really cool. So I used to post a lot of eyeshadow looks is really what my niche was in the beauty community. And then I kind of just went into like a deep depression. I unfortunately didn't post for probably like almost 2 or 3 years consistently. And then I started my GLP-1 journey, and kind of why we're doing this podcast, I didn't really see many people being vulnerable about starting their GLP-1 journeys. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to be that voice for people that are scared to speak up. And so I started posting my GLP-1 journey, and I've gotten thousands of new friends that are on this journey with me that are also on GLP-1s or on a weight loss journey, not just a GLP-1, but people that are losing weight. And I've just been so grateful for all of my new followers. And so if you're listening, I love every single one of you guys. And for all of the old ones that stayed whenever, from kind of like Pris when I was doing beauty content, thank you for being here with me. And that's a little bit about me. But I've also been on a GLP-1 for 5 months now.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
how do you feel?
Girl, I feel kind of like what you said. I feel like I'm glowing. Like I feel, lighter in the sense of not, well, like obviously, like, cause I'm like getting, I'm like, where's my waist? But where's my waist? But like in the sense of like, I feel lighter just in general. Like I just spent the last 4 days in New York City, and every single day was walking almost 20,000 steps. I might have. Yeah, I might have gotten a blister, but that was because of the shoes I was wearing. Any other time I've been, because I was wearing a bad shoe, okay? Like, usually when I go to the city, I'm complaining about walking everywhere because I'm like big, like I'm big, like I don't want to walk everywhere and I'm out of breath. I'm like, like I'm choking because I'm walking so much, but it was nice to be able to walk and not be so winded. I feel amazing though. Like I feel like another thing that people don't really talk about is how much a GLP-1 can really switch your mental. So I feel like my mental health has been really good. But overall I feel amazing. Yeah.
So I mean, I'll go first. I've only started this GLP-1 journey. I've been on it for what, 6 weeks now, and I've lost 12 pounds. But Taylor, you've been on it for what, 6 months, you said?
5 months.
5 months?
5 months.
5 months.
And I am
And you're
down
like 60, right?
65 pounds. 65
That
pounds.
is crazy, Taylor. That's literally almost 100 pounds. That's
Yeah,
crazy. That's amazing. I'm so proud of you.
guys, like I seriously, and I'm sure like a lot of you, like I'm sure we'll have an episode where we kind of touch on this, but it doesn't feel like it. Like I know that I've lost this weight, but I think sometimes like I look in the mirror and I'm like, is this me? So Pris, I have a few questions here that I would love to ask you that I feel like a lot of our listeners, like I said, I know you, but they don't know all the dirty secrets. So I would love for them to get to know you.
I love that. Yeah, let's do it.
I would love to open up a question. And I would love to ask you, what was your oh hell no moment? Like what was your moment of like, I'm starting my weight loss journey. Like this is enough. Like I have to change something.
Yeah. So Avi, like this podcast, I mean, I know me and Taylor, we're going to try to be as vulnerable as we can with you guys because it's important, right? Especially if you're new to this GLP-1 journey, it's important to be open and honest. And I'll be real with y'all. Okay. My oh hell no moment was definitely when I would look at videos of myself because that's my part-time job. I do social media. I post on a daily, at least I try to. And I was just noticing my quality of content just go down extremely because I hated the person that I was seeing on the video. I was like no longer happy with her. And I was just losing myself and I couldn't look at that anymore. I just couldn't. I struggled a lot with binge eating and just like eating based off of my emotions. And anytime that I would feel sad, happy, or excitement, anything, I would just turn to food for some sort of relief. And it became too much. It became a lot. I was starting to like look at these videos of myself and no longer recognize a person there. And I didn't want that anymore. I wanted to find myself back. I wanted to get a hold of my life again. And I mean, that's only honestly just like the tip of it. I think the more I think about it, the more I start to realize that I have things that I want to do that I don't think my weight was allowing me to do. And it's just like the littlest things, right? I want to have kids eventually and I want to be able to keep up with them. I want to be able to run around and not run out of breath. I want to be able, even though I hate heights with a passion, I would love the option to get on a roller coaster and try it out. It's just the little things that I do feel like my weight was holding me back on. And now, even though I've lost 12 pounds, girl, I feel light as a feather. I'm like, where should I go now? What should I try on?
No, like you're gonna blow away. Like when it's windy, you're gonna blow away.
Yeah, it was windy out here, and I was scared for my life. Girl.
Even knowing you and watching your content change, I've said this to you before, but I really could, scrolling back on your videos before you started posting your GLP-1 content, Pris, you really lost it in your eyes. I could tell, like, looking in your eyes, like, instead of doing like your, get ready with me videos or like your haul videos and stuff, you started to just kind of do like you were dancing to a song or something, or just kind of posting an ad that you had to post. And I could see you lost the love for content in your eyes. And I can I can really relate to that feeling of, and that's why I stopped posting, is because whenever I would look back and edit my videos and stuff, I could not recognize the person that I was. I was so deep into a depression and eating my feelings away. Like a binge eating disorder is something that is so, a lot of us, that was also an issue that I had. And I really relate to you in the sense of watching that and being a content creator. Like when you watch those videos back and you can't recognize who is on the screen.
Yeah. And I'm still all for body positivity, loving yourself and just like being who you want to be. But for me at the time, it was like, I'm such a big advocate on self-love. And I think a lot of the self-love that I was looking for was just like truly loving myself enough to put myself first. And so that's where I also decided like, hey, this is a time where I need to put myself first and my health first and find myself again.
Yeah.
And, being completely honest and vulnerable, there was a time, before all of that happened where I'll just do like a quick little story time. Me and Trav were gonna go meet a couple of his buddies, right? And I remember sitting in my room, literally crying in the mirror because I did not want to go because I felt so ugly and disgusting.
Aw.
And I was like, I couldn't fit into my jeans. I couldn't fit into my
Yeah.
shirt. And, I was just like, I am so unhappy with who I am. And I just needed to find something to help me.
Yeah.
And that's where I hit up Taylor. I was like, hey, Tay, like, I need you to talk to me about this GLP-1 thing you're on because
Yeah.
I need alternatives. I need to find options for me because
Yeah.
I never knew about a GLP-1. I did
Mm-hmm.
not know about a GLP-1. Thought the only alternative for me was either going to be surgery or just sticking to some crazy diet that I was going to be so unhappy doing.
Unhappy and unable to stick to, because a lot of people don't realize that the main thing that GLP-1s help us with is the food addiction portion. And that kind of even ties in, like my friend, she had weight loss surgery, but the thing that they don't tell you about weight loss surgery is it doesn't fix that the food addiction portion of your brain. And so you have weight loss surgery, but you have, the stomach the size of it's tiny. I don't know the exact equivalent to it, but they continue binge eating and you just are sick constantly. So I think that's a great thing about GLP-1s, that it really does help us heal our relationship with food. And Chris, I'm so excited that you were able to learn about a GLP-1 and start your journey, because like I said, girl, I'll preach it until I'm blue in the face. I really see a different glow and a different vibe about you. And girl, like the face is giving skinny. Like you're giving like, where's like, I can't, you're gonna,
where is it? Everything, the jawline, everything. I'm snatched.
You're gonna be a molecule here in a few months. Like I'm gonna have to
I know. Summer is coming.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to like weigh you down with a brick. I'm gonna have to tie one to your leg so you don't float away.
And I do want to also say, like, no tea, no shade to people that do choose weight loss surgery. That's amazing. But for me, I'm terrified. I'm so terrified of
I'm
that.
scared of surgery. Like I seriously.
Me too.
That's why I couldn't do it. Like I can't tell you how many times I actually contemplated doing weight loss surgery, but girl, I'm so scared of going under anesthesia. I've never been under, I mean, maybe when I was like 2, I went under anesthesia, but I can't, like, I was so scared of that. It felt so.
I got my wisdom teeth out. That's about it. I was shaking in my boots even before that. So I just can't, especially, I don't know, it's applaud every single person that has gotten weight loss surgery because I am terrified to do it. I'm terrified.
We're all on the same journey, and it doesn't really matter, as long as it's in a healthy way. If we all get to the same point, then we're proud of you. I know Chris and I would never judge anyone's.
No.
Yeah, if that's the option, like if you're listening and you've done weight loss surgery and you're just here for like the, the weight loss content, that's amazing that you were able to choose that for yourself.
Because at the end of the day, you're choosing yourself.
You're choosing yourself.
Yeah, so,
definitely.
Period. Whatever route you decide to go through, all me and Tay are here to do is support you.
Oh, okay. We're here to support you, girl. Period.
We are.
Period.
Or I got some questions for you, Tay. I do got some questions for you. Okay.
God. Okay.
My first question for you, girl, is this. Okay. Sit back, relax, and I'm going to read it to you. Okay, so what do you think held you back from starting sooner than you did a GLP-1?
Ooh, okay. So I would have to say, I feel like we kind of touched on it, but just the negative, like, stigma around what a GLP-1 is. I think I was so scared to what I was going to hear from not only maybe followers, but friends and family, coworkers, of just me being told that I was taking the easy way out, that, that this was something that I was taking medication away from people that maybe had diabetes, and that I was just lazy, and that I needed to just be more stern on myself, that I should just be able to go to the gym more consistently. I should be able to do a calorie deficit more consistently. Like I just couldn't get out of my mind that if I chose to do a GLP-1, then it would be the easy way out. I just couldn't. I think I fought for about 6 months back and forth with myself that it was going to be the easy way out. And like, Taylor, you could just be more stern with yourself and learn how to diet and learn how to do, go to the gym and stuff. And I'll talk about Brie again. My friend, she was, I saw her post what a compound GLP-1 was. And I was like, you know what? This was in the same year, last year, at the end of last year, that I'd also gotten my PCOS diagnosis. For years, I was wondering why my period hasn't been consistent, and why I was getting cystic acne and HS, and why I had severe cramps that actually found out to be that they were cyst rupturing. I found out that I had PCOS at the end of last year, and I right around that time, I had seen that my friend Brie was taking a GLP-1, and I messaged her and was like, hey girl, kind of the same thing, full circle moment with you and I was like, girl, what is this? Like, is it helping you? And she told me about it, and I'm very grateful that, I was able to see her post that content. And I think that's why
Yeah.
That's why you and I do what we do, because not everybody knows that there's other options. Before you saw me, you didn't know that there's other options other than, surgery, or to just, it's not that easy for a lot of us. And I think that's something that you and I will definitely dive into on this podcast. It's not just as simple as people think it is, as just dieting and going to the gym. Okay. A lot of us struggle with worse things.
Yeah. And I hate that stigma, that we're taking the easy way out per se, because it's not the easy way out. If I'm being honest, it's still just as hard. A GLP-1 is just a tool that you use to help you get back on track, but you're still having to put in all the work. You're still having to go and change up your meal plans and try to eat differently. I personally am going to the gym more than I've ever gone. Okay.
You're getting your ass
I'm trying to become a gym rat. Okay. It's not the easy way out. I'm grateful for a GLP-1 because yes, it's such a great tool that I literally am so grateful for, but I'm still putting in work. Anyone that's on a GLP-1 is still putting in work.
No, I love that you touched on that. Definitely. I mean, it's a tool for sure. And it's something that we have to learn how to use to our advantage. Like a lot of people will take this injection and wonder why they're not losing anything, but they're still eating the same way. They're not, focusing on water intake. They're not focusing on protein intake. And I think that it's very important to use this as a tool. It's not a magic injection. And I think there's nothing that's going to make you lose all the weight without putting in any kind of work.
No, I love that, Tay, because I do think that a lot of people listening might be in that same boat where they're scared to start a GLP-1 because they're so scared of what people might think about them.
Oh, yeah.
I know that was me for a long time. It wasn't even what my family or what my friends thought about me. It was more so like what my followers were going to think about me because I know me and you, we both have a platform. And for the longest time, my platform was about plus size beauty and, fashion and loving yourself. And then me coming out and saying like, hey, I'm going to lose weight. Did that totally just like backtrack everything? And so I was like so stuck on whether or not this was the right thing for me to do. But at the end of the day, like you have to really choose yourself first. And I'm so happy that we both did that.
Yeah, I'm very, very happy that we were both able to choose ourselves. And I think definitely I understand being a plus size content creator. I mean, we put on the face that, and I'm going to say this and being vulnerable, this is something that we'll do in this podcast, is in the beginning, sure, I was a confident plus size person. I was like, you know what, plus size is beautiful. But I think at the end of it, and that's why I started this journey, is it started to become fake. If I'm being honest, it started to become a facade that I was happy and that I was confident. And I couldn't continue to put on that, oh my God, like I don't care. I'm not going to lose weight. I'm happy the way I am. Because guess what? Behind that video of me dancing, saying, fuck you for calling me fat, at the end of the day, like behind me, like in my actual mental, I was like, no, Taylor, like not even just to please this person, because I would never do that just to please someone telling me to lose weight. It was more so for my health. Like I had severe high blood pressure. I was insulin resistant. I was basically pre-diabetic. Like I had all of these things that if I didn't change my health right now, like something was going to happen. And I'm just very happy that we both chose ourselves. Chris, so I would love to ask you another question here. Getting into like the maybe fun side, I would love to know what has been the weirdest or funniest side effect that you've experienced being on a GLP-1 so far.
I'm glad you asked that because, vulnerable, right? Before I started a GLP-1, I went down a loophole and I was like, what are these symptoms that everyone's talking about? Because I need to be mentally prepared for this, right? Like, what am I going to feel? I read the most craziest horror stories and I was shaking in my boots, freaking out. Well, I've been very fortunate and I haven't had the craziest side effects, but I've had some funny ones. I will say I'm cold every second, every day now. I am freezing. And before I was always hot. I always needed the AC up or down, whatever. I needed it like 65 degrees up in here or else I was sweating. Okay. And now I literally have a jacket on and a sweater on everywhere I go because I'm always so cold. And in my head, I'm like, am I skinny? Like, is this what being skinny is? Because I am always cold. Like, I don't know. Do you ever feel like that? Or are you like,
oh girl, listen, like same thing as you, like before starting a GLP-1 and I was at my heaviest, I needed that AC on. Girl, there was points where I know you live in Texas, but it gets cold here. It would be 40 degrees outside. Guess what? That AC on 65 degrees still. If I can't sleep, I was sleeping every night with that AC on. And I think that now, like I'm also sitting here with a jacket on. I have a heated blanket that I purchased. I've never in my life owned a heated blanket before. Oh, I can finally relate to those. I just remember like seeing all like these skinny people being
with a jacket on or a sweater.
With a jacket on or a sweater when it's like fall. I'm like, guys, it's hot out here. Like you're just like in an environment and you're like, guys, isn't it like really hot in here? And you're like sweating and like there's a skinny person next to you and they're like, I'm freezing. It's like
no, and then you're like, do I stink? Because I'm literally sweating my ass off. Like literally freaking pit stains.
No, yeah. That's
I
really
will say that's definitely the craziest one. I feel like I've been a little nauseous here and there, but it's like something that I tend to freak out because I was never a nauseous person. Like usually it would be like coming out the other end. But
hmm
now that I'm feeling like the nauseousness, I'm like, oh, but I've
yeah.
learned to just deal with the symptoms. Not necessarily deal with them, but help something to help maintain the symptoms.
I remember when you first started, I was getting texts from you like every hour, and it was like, Tate, like, am I gonna get nauseous yet? Like, am I gonna, like, what's gonna happen? You were like, I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm scared to go to sleep. Like, she was so, but honestly, that happens to me too. Is like, again, there's so much stigma, and we unfortunately in the GLP-1 community see a lot of negativity about everything. We see a lot of all the negative side effects and all these horror stories about gallbladder issues and
Yes.
people going blind. Like, people going blind.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
guys, like, there's crazy, very rare side effects to every single thing that you take. There's crazy side effects to Tylenol, okay? Like, everybody,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like, so it's the same thing with this medication. And so when I first started too, I was a hypochondriac. I was overthinking. And that's the reason why I take my injections at night, because I took mine at night and was like, and I was like, okay, guys, I was like, well, I'm going to take my injection. I'm going to go to sleep. And if I pass away, it's in my sleep. I won't feel any pain. So
It's kind of like those commercials that you see on the TV. It's like they
yeah,
advertise this medicine, and then it's like this may cause blah 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 blah, like for 20 minutes going on about what it might cause.
heart attack,
It's everything,
stroke,
honestly.
diarrhea, constipation.
Yes, and I'm like, okay, period. Running out of the list here.
Right. So I think that's definitely something with side effects can be a scary topic. So I think it's awesome that you haven't experienced anything like going blind or anything, because I've had people message me like, Taylor, I see that I could go blind. Like, okay, like I understand, like it's definitely like that's a serious, because that's what we see. Like when you look up a GLP-1 side effects, you see unfortunately the negative things. And very similar to your boat, Chris, is like I haven't experienced anything crazy. The only thing bad was the first GLP-1 that I was on, is that I had extreme diarrhea at the end of it. Okay. And rare side effect. I tried a bunch of different things and I couldn't get it to go away. So I switched. Again, there's multiple medications. So if one medication doesn't work for you, there's multiple other medications. I was, grateful enough that I was able to switch over to a different one, and I've had no side effects. Like I barely even get nauseous.
I haven't gotten nauseous that recently either. Like I feel like my body's starting to adjust to it, so I'm kind of here for that.
Yeah, I love that for us.
Okay, period. I have another question for you, girl.
Ooh.
My next question for you is, what has been the hardest thing for you since starting a GLP-1?
Okay, the hardest thing for me, I would say, we're going to get vulnerable. I would say learning to not binge anymore when I'm sad or when I'm happy or any of those feelings. I used to really rely on food for all of my comfort, my sadness, my comfort, my happiness. I would celebrate with food and I would cry with food. And so I think since starting a GLP-1, I find myself sometimes thinking, well, what do I lean on? Okay, well, what can be the new addiction? What can be my new way to cope? And I think that there's a healthy way to go about that. I do know that not everybody's perfect, and sometimes we may not do something very healthy. In the beginning, of me starting a GLP-1, the first few, like I would probably say the first month or two, I would still find myself trying to binge. Like I would order DoorDash and stuff like that and try to eat it. And then the next day I would get really sick. So, I unlearned to do that. But now I find myself sometimes, if I'm sad, if I'm happy, I'm like, well, what do I do now? So I would say getting into that, my mindset changing and trying to, I would say unlearning all of the bad habits that we've done for so many years. Like I've probably had binge eating disorders since I was 10 years old, maybe even younger than that. And so trying to unlearn all of these bad habits and building healthy habits at the same time is probably been the hardest for me. I would love to, I know this is your question for me, but I would love to maybe hear your side as well. I mean, have you had to, like, what would be your hardest thing that you've had to experience with the GLP?
Well, I think same thing as you, like being very vulnerable. I think for me, I've always been a bigger person my whole life. So it's always been like, in a way, my coping mechanism. I've always just like kind of just goofed around about my weight and stuff. And seeing even my face change is just so crazy to me. And sometimes I do feel like I'm a little bit in denial. I'm like, no, like it's not, it's just it's just a day. Like tomorrow it'll go back to normal,
Yeah.
I think it's just learning how to let go of the old me.
Yeah.
Because I just know I knew her for so long, and I'm so grateful for everything that Chris taught me, because I don't think I would have, I actually know for a fact I wouldn't have started a GLP-1 if it wasn't for her. So I think it's more so just learning to let go of her and embracing who I'm becoming.
Oh wow, that made me like emotional. Like I'm over here like getting teary-eyed. Like I'm like,
me
wow.
crying a little bit, because I've literally always been big my whole life. I don't know what not being big is, so it's like learning to just start over and welcoming a new life, a new chapter, and just, yeah, I don't know. I guess this medication has also taught me how to just be a little bit more like I don't even know the words that I'm looking for, but just have more grace.
Oh,
Have more
grace.
grace with
Okay.
myself because
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes I'm so hard on myself, like if I don't drop a certain amount of weight, I'm like, well, what could I have done better, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I was struggling even losing like 2 pounds. So the fact that I'm like down 12 pounds is crazy
Yeah.
because even though it's 12 pounds to somebody else, like that's 12 pounds that I couldn't have lost in a year. So I think it's just being patient and kinder to myself.
Yeah. No, that's something that I think not only myself and you and a bunch of I'm sure our listeners will say that they've experienced that as well, is that, and like I kind of touched on, is that this changes a lot more than just our physical appearance. Is that when you go through a weight loss journey, whether it be GLP-1s or not, you're learning a lot about yourself. And like you said, I think that's what made me emotional, is that you're learning to kind of let go of the old you. But, we appreciate her and we love her for getting us to where we are, because we couldn't have gotten to where we are without her. But that is, she does hold a lot of habits that are unfortunately not good for us. And so we do have to let go of that old version of us in a sense. We'll still hold her dear, but I think that
it's giving Billie Eilish Wildflower.
It
I
is.
still see her in the back of my mind.
I see her
The back of my mind all the
all the
time.
time.
Oh my gosh. One thing about it is we're not going to cry. We're just going to laugh.
We're going to sing. Listen, guys, we're going to serenade your ears, okay? Pris, I would love to ask you one final question here, girl.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to know, kind of to end on a good note here, what is one misconception about GLP-1s that you would love for people to stop repeating or stop believing?
Yes. Okay. So for me, the biggest misconception that I wish I never stumbled upon was that when you start a GLP-1, you're no longer hungry. Because when I started my GLP-1, and this is also going back to giving myself more grace, because when I started my GLP-1, I literally texted Taylor not even an hour after, and I was like, I'm hungry.
She was like, girl, I don't think it's working.
Literally
I'm hungry.
I don't think it's working. And I was freaking out, and I was like, do I need to up my dose already? What's going on? That's such a misconception, because you are still supposed to be hungry, and it's normal to be hungry, and it's normal to eat. I think people, literally, the people that say like they don't eat, it's crazy to me, because for the first like couple days, I was like, I'm not supposed to be eating. Like, this is supposed to help me not even think about food. Why am I thinking about food? Why am I hungry? And I remember Taylor told me one time, she was like, if you're hungry and if you're able to eat, eat. Like, eat, please.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, period. Like, and I just stopped being so hard on myself, because I was like, dude, you're a human being. Like, you have to eat and like feed your body, fuel yourself.
Yes.
So I wish that was never a thing, that people say that they're no longer, I mean, like, I get it where people are like, I'm not even hungry, like, to a certain extent, but like, you still have to eat. You have to fucking eat. And I wish that I never even saw that, because the first couple of days I was like, I'm not going to eat. Like, I'm not going to eat. No. And it's like, in order for you to actually lose healthy weight, you have to eat. So I think that's my biggest thing. Yeah. What about you, though? I want to know yours.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I just have to say that I love that you touched on that, because me being a what I eat in a day queen on TikTok, I get so many comments. I mean, hundreds of comments of people telling me you eat too much to be on a GLP-1. And
oh my gosh,
I am the first person to clap back at them and say, I'm eating, I am fueling my body. Okay. A lot of things that we see in this community are people that don't eat and they lose all their hair and all their muscle, and then they develop other medical conditions because they weren't fueling their body. They weren't getting the right nutrients that you need to stay healthy. So I think that you're so right in the sense of it's a misconception that you're not supposed to eat. And I did tell Pris, she was texting me. She was like, girl, I'm hungry. It's not working. I was like, Pris, eat. If you're hungry, girl, please eat, because we're not supposed to starve ourselves. And I think something that I really want to build a community on, and I know Pris feels this way as well, is that we are not here for toxic diet culture. We are not here to tell you guys to eat under 1,000 calories a day. Okay. That is less than a toddler eats. I'm not here to ever tell you or shame you for what you're eating. If it works for you, it works for you. And everything in moderation is okay.
And I also think like you were talking about your what I eat in a day videos. I remember I posted my very, very first one like 2 weeks into my journey. I was shaking in my boots because I'm like, am I eating the right things? Is this going to be appropriate for me to post? Like, I don't want people to come for me. And I will say, like, on the internet, like, people just think they could comment whatever. And it's like, Are you sure about that? Yeah. Because I posted a video of me literally eating Chinese food, and somebody commented and said, how can you even eat that? Like, you're on a GLP-1. And for me, for me, girl, one thing about me is I'm still going to eat the foods that I like to eat
Yeah.
before, but I'm going to eat them in moderation.
Yeah.
And I think that's the whole thing about being on this journey is that you can still eat what you want to eat, but you got to eat in moderation. Like,
Yeah.
I think if you were to not eat things that make you happy, I would be miserable and I would not want to lose weight and I would
Yeah.
hate every single thing about my day because I can't eat
Yeah, and we're
a
here
freaking
a burger.
Chioso chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah, like girl, what?
We're here to unlearn all of those negative diet things and what has failed us in the past. I mean, that's the reason why most of us have struggled with diets is because it's limiting us to something. And most of the time, if we're told we can't have something, guess what? We're going to want it 10 times more. And so
Yes.
I'm very big on preaching to my followers as well as my friends that are on GLP1s is that don't limit yourself from something. If you want a slice of pizza, have a slice of pizza, because the difference between now and before is now we're going to have one slice of pizza and be okay with that. Before we would have had 4 slices of pizza and still wanted more. And the thing that we're doing here with fueling our bodies with what we're still thinking about sometimes here and there is we're building sustainable weight loss. Those people who are, only eating a protein shake a day, if they ever stop a GLP1, they did not learn any kind of self-control. What we're doing when we're still eating what we crave here and there, and by you having some Chinese food, is that you're learning that foods are still okay and you're healing your relationship with food. So I'm so proud of you for doing that. And I'm very happy that you touched on that because that's something that we see a lot in this community that I'm sure we can have a whole podcast episode talking about the negative connotation of eating and the diet toxic culture. So,
and I think that's another thing while being on this this medication is that my brain is actually able to realize like, hey, I'm full. You don't have to eat all of your food on your plate.
Yeah.
You can stop. You don't have to lick it clean.
No.
Because before I was like, I need to eat all of this. Even when I was full, I would continue to eat. And then after I was done eating, I would feel so sick. It was like sluggish. I would just regretted every single bit of that. And now I'm able to realize, hey, I can put the fork down and it's fine. Like I'm not gonna die. It's good. You're good, dude. Walk away. And sometimes I don't even feel the need to take them home as leftovers.
Yes.
It's good. We're my God. Good.
That happened to me so many times when I was just in New York is whenever they're like, do you need a box? I was like, no, thank you. Like before I would have been like, I need a box. I need rolls to go and give me my Coke to go.
Soda to go. Yeah.
Can I get the Coke to go as well? Like, can I get the rolls? Can you put some like 12 rolls? Yeah.
Yes. And I think like not even growing, but like evolving into this like new character I'm unlocking is so crazy to me because the old Chris would have been like, I'm going to take 2 to-go boxes. Is that on the house? Because I'll take another order. Okay.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I'm so happy that I can just say no. I can say I'm good and walk away.
I love that. I really love to hear that we're healing that relationship side with food and that we're learning control. That's so important.
One last question for you, Taylor. My last question for you, I think it's one of my favorite questions that I have here for you, and I think it's going to be very important to anyone that's listening, is what is something that you would say to someone, like words of advice, that's wanting to start their weight loss or even their GLP-1 journey, but is scared to do it?
Okay, I like this one. First of all, I would tell you that it's okay. I think that, I needed that for someone to just talk to me and let me know that a weight loss journey, everything's going to be okay, that things will work out no matter what side or journey that you picked to lose weight, whether it be surgery, whether it be you want to try a calorie deficit in the gym, or you're wanting to try a GLP-1. I think that whatever way that you're choosing to love yourself, that it's going to be okay and that you can do this. I'm here to tell you that you can do this. So if a weight loss journey has been something that you've been wanting to start, that you can do it. Everybody can do it. You just have to find the love within yourself to start that journey. I would also tell someone that it's not always going to be sunshine and rainbows, okay? That it is very, very normal for that scale to fluctuate. So if you're currently on the beginning of a weight loss journey, or you're wanting to start one, or you're on one right now, it is okay for the scale to fluctuate. It's going to fluctuate. Despite me being in New York City for the last few days and walking 20,000 steps each day, I thought that I was going to drop 5 pounds in a week, okay? Which is unrealistic, right? Guess what? I only lost about 1.5 pounds. And I found myself kind of being upset with myself a little bit, like, oh, you should have lost more weight. Like, what's wrong with you? But then I thought to myself, you know what, Taylor, as you preach to everyone that follows you and listens to you, is that weight loss is not linear. Weight loss is you're never going to see a scale of someone and it's just doing a decline. There's always going to be the jags up and down. The scale is forever going to be moving up and down. A lot of us on weight loss journeys were women. So we might be starting our menstrual cycle. We might be in the gym putting in some work and might be building muscle instead of losing weight, or we might be losing fat at the same time, but we're building muscle at the same time. And that might be why the scale's not moving. So I would say that it's going to be okay and that please don't think that weight loss is linear and that it's okay for the scale to move up and down. And if you go a week where the scale doesn't move, that it's okay. That doesn't make everything that you've done invalid. And I think, Pris, you can kind of touch on this a little bit, and I know you're going to. And I just had a little pep talk with her before we got on this pod, is that she's dealing with kind of the same thing. So, Pris, I would love for you to kind of to tie in on that as well.
I literally just had a conversation with Taylor yesterday because I was being very vulnerable, and I was telling her that now that I'm on this weight loss journey and now that it's actually working, because I've tried diets in the past and I've tried to do this and that, and it would never work. I'd lose maybe like 2 pounds and then I'd eat a cracker and gain like 7. So it's just like always defeated. I feel like now that I'm noticing changes within myself, I'm so scared when I see that number move up. And I'm constantly fighting with myself to not step on the scale. Give it a week, give it 2 weeks until you weigh yourself again. And I'm trying, and the way my head is set up is I want to weigh myself every single day, all day. And I can't do that.
Yeah.
We need to have more grace with ourselves. We need to be more kinder, more patient. Our body, like Taylor said, it's going to fluctuate. Like some days you might have a little bit more weight on you. I literally weighed myself last night and I weighed like 4 more pounds than I did this morning because I probably had a bigger dinner. Like, the scale is such a scary place to be on because it's just, the number on there is just, it's just always messing with our minds. But I'm really glad that you touched base on that, because the amount of people that are in my comments telling me like, this is no longer working for me, I haven't lost weight in like 3 days, or the scale's not moving, and it's just crazy because I wish I could tell every single person you just got to be patient.
You've got to be patient. I mean, that's something that if you guys are listening here, and I hope that you guys are listening and that you're tuning in and that you're able to understand that you have to be patient, that these things take time, and that it's completely normal to not see that scale constantly moving. And please be kinder to yourself, and I think that's a great way to kind of tie in the end of our first episode, is that this is about being nice to yourselves, and that this is not a perfect journey. And I think that's what Pris and I are really going to show you guys, is that like me being 5 months in, guys, like I just had a conversation with myself 2 days ago that I only lost 1.5 pounds. Okay. And Pris is 6 weeks into her journey, but she's still having those conversations with herself. So even though I'm further on my journey, it's still normal to have these conversations with yourself.
And I think it's very important too, because while this community is like such a big community, so because this community is such a big community, it's very easy to compare your journey to other people.
Oh yeah.
And I will say, me personally, I was comparing my weight loss to so many other people that I would see. They'd be like, oh, I lost 20 pounds this month. And I'm over here like, oh, I've lost 10. Like, great. I'm not doing this right. But it's like every body is literally different. Your body is not the same as the person that you're going to see on your For You page tomorrow. Like,
nope.
It's just, you have to stop comparing yourself to other people. And that's something that I'm still learning myself. So I know it's not easy, but we can't compare each other.
Don't compare yourself. Like Pris said, everybody is different. And that's a true statement in weight loss, is BMIs are different and health conditions are different. There are multiple different reasons why someone's going to lose weight slower or faster than you. So please be kind to yourself. Remember, guys, that stress and cortisol levels will increase weight gain and kind of stall a weight loss. So the more that you're sitting there overthinking, get out of your head, do some yoga, go on a walk, and lower those stress and cortisol levels, guys, and stop getting in your head and don't work yourself up, because having a positive mindset will really, really, really benefit you in this journey. I'm so glad that we were able to really touch on so many topics and really get vulnerable our first episode. I didn't think we were going to get so deep.
No, I didn't think so either, but I'm really glad we did. And honestly, I feel like this is low-key a little bit of a therapy session for me.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to share this platform with Tay, because honestly, Tay is just such a girl's girl. And if you know, you know, and if you don't know, now you do, girl. Because I will forever respect Taylor as a person, because I do think that you genuinely made me a better person. Because I remember being on your live one day and you were like, Pris, you're such a girl's girl. And I never really looked at myself that way. And now I'm just like, what can I do to be better, to be a better person for somebody else? So I'm very grateful for you and very grateful for our friendship. If you're new on a GLP1 journey, I hope this podcast will help you and just make you feel less alone. And even if you're like 2 years in and you're struggling with something going on right now, I just want to remind you that you're never alone and that we're here to help you guys. And also, if you're not following us on Instagram or TikTok, we'd love to have you guys over there. It is the dose of it on all the platforms. And slide in the DMs, message us with questions, tell us story times. We'd love to talk about them on the pod and be able to share your experiences because we're just two people in this big community. And we'd love to hear feedback from you guys. We'd love to be able to share what you're experiencing with others because there's probably somebody else that's going through the same journey as you.
Yeah, definitely get out there and like Pris said, make sure you're following us and make sure that you're sending in those your experiences and what your journey has been like because we would love to feature you. I think that's definitely something we'll have an episode on and get those stories out here because like Pris said, that was something that you're experiencing, someone else is experiencing out there and you don't have to be alone. And I think that's what we're really doing this podcast for is that you guys aren't alone and we're just two girlies, two besties in a big community that we're hoping to shed some light on it and make it more positive and a place where, like you said, it was like a therapy session for us, but it really was. And I'm sure a lot of our listeners are going to be like, no, I felt like that was therapy. Like, I'm sure a lot of people are going to relate to what we talked about. So I'm very, Pris, I'm so grateful that I get to do this with you. I've always said that I loved your content and that watching you, I was like, I just love Pris. Like, there's something about her. Like, I'm a vibe person. Like, I'm very like intuitive. And I was like, there's just something about Pris. Like, it's
a vibe.
It's a vibe. Like, I could just tell that we were going to click. Like, I could just tell we were going to click. So I was like, when we had this idea of a podcast, I'm so glad that we're able to take flight with this and do this for everybody.
There's a little baby now. Are we parents?
Are we parents? Wait.
Did we have a baby?
Oh my God, like we did have a baby. You guys are our babies. So, oh my God, I love this.
Tay is on board, but I think I think it's safe to say that we are thinking about an episode dropping on Tuesdays for now. We will keep it updated if anything changes, but for now, Tuesdays.
Yeah,
right?
So we'll say happy Tuesday, right? Like, so let's hope that we're posting this on Tuesday. So like, happy Tuesday, guys. It's not like a Monday because like no one wants a podcast episode. It's Mondays.
No. Everyone just wants to go to bed on Monday.
Yeah, like it's a miserable Monday. Like nobody wants a podcast. Mm-hmm. So like Tuesday, that's like, happy Tuesday.
It's time to Yap Tuesday.
Oh, time to Yap Tuesday. I like that. We might have to patent that, girl. But I think this has been a great first episode. Again, I'm so grateful that I was able to do it with you, Pris. I love you so much.
We hope to see you. We hope to be heard on the next episode.
So make sure you guys are sending us some DMs and make sure you are following us on all platforms. Again, it is The Dose of It on all platforms. And make sure that you guys like and subscribe and make sure you're following us here on Spotify as well so that you get notified when we post a new episode.
Yes. Okay. Well, we love you guys and we'll catch y'all on the next episode. Have the greatest day ever and the best week. And we'll follow up with you guys next week.
Yes. Bye, GLP1 besties.